Peace, brothers. It's your brother Yusuf back with another video. Back on the topic of assertiveness versus aggressiveness and overall dominance when dealing with the opposite sex. So we talked a little bit about masculinity. We talked a little bit about assertiveness and aggressiveness. So I feel like this is a good time to give like some general parameters and maybe a few examples about what exactly do I mean from that. So remember, assertiveness centers around a sense of confidence. It's about basically taking your will and influencing your environment with your will, in influencing those in your sphere of control into the direction you want them to go. Whereas aggressiveness is more about trying to establish a certain level of influence and control over something. So both have to do with influence and expressing your will on things, but aggression has to do with more like obtaining and trying to establish that will, and it comes from a place where there is not established. So oftentimes it comes from a position of weakness, whereas assertive comes from a position of strength. So let me try to kind of illustrate what do I mean by all that. So you have individuals who are aggressive, right? They pursue different things aggressively. Let's take one for instance. A lot of brothers approach women, and no matter how smooth they may think they have a plan and a strategy. A lot of times they do a couple of mistakes. Number one, they lead with their wallet. And when you lead with your wallet, even though a man has to have resources, that's a part of being a complete man, is to be able to have a sphere of influence, which takes resources. All right, because you have to create a world to place the people you want to have influence over, or you want to invite in your life, i.e. lead, right? So anybody who comes into your life under your sphere of influence is under your leadership, right? So that's common with children, women, certain people in your inner circle. You want to have a certain level of influence in their life and a certain level of leadership. So when you lead with your wallet, a lot of guys, they recognize the utility of women. They want women in their life for more than one reason. And they go and they lead with their wallet because that's something that is required. However, when you lead with your wallet, then what you do is you invite people who are centered on you as a financial resource, i.e. gold diggers, into your life. You attract a lot of those people who really are not good for a real man's purpose, right? Gold diggers are just after the bag, man, and they can stay right where you found them for these streets. So that's mistake number one, leading with your wallet. Mistake number two is you're aggressive. In other words, you're trying to establish control and influence over this individual. It's okay to assert yourself in the sense that you suggest, hey, I would like for you, to get to know you, or, I think that I'm consider you as a candidate for a position in my world. But what's not good is when you are overeager. That over eagerness to prove yourself to that individual, that female, that woman, it shows a sense of you needing, a neediness. Okay, and that's exactly what a man can't be. A man can't be needy to anyone because a man is there to provide for others. All right, so when you need someone else, that shows weakness in your ability to provide. You should be self-sustainable as a man. So oftentimes we call it game or whatever. We pick up a few lines, tricks. We get the clothes, we get the car, we get the look, we get the words, but the magic is missing. And the magic is the sense that whether you take this invitation or not, number one, I'm still good. I'm good with you or without you. And along with that, aggression is a sense of not being selective enough. Okay? When you don't exude the energy that you have something to offer, and that you're in fact looking for what other people have to offer rather than having something to offer them, then what happens is that people become very scrutinizing of you. And that may or may not be true. If it's true that you need them more than they need you, then you need to reposition yourself in this world. You need to aggressively attack your goals, aggressively attack your purpose. And the challenge is to stand in the way of you and that purpose, right? And then learn to assert yourself on the world before you think you're going to assert yourself on those who dwell in it. Okay? So that's one thing to consider. So are you in a position to assert yourself? Or do you have some work to do as a man in order to prove yourself to yourself? In order to actualize and realize your purpose. That's why we talk about here on our channel so much about purpose and following your purpose. Once you follow your purpose, then you can sit back and you can judge others that you want to bring into your circle based on your principles and what you stand for, because you're not going to reach no purpose without principles, without ethic. You have to pursue things. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take loyalty to your purpose. You're going to have to X out certain things in your life. You're going to have to become disciplined, etc. So once you're in a position where you can actually assert yourself in the world in any kind of real level, then you have to also assert your standards on those people that you invite in your inner circle. A lot of times, I tell brothers, like, once you get yourself positioned and you want to see if you can bring a woman into your life, then you need to, before even her notion that she has a chance, that there's an actual reality, you need to scrutinize her. She has to pass the eyeball test. Okay? She has to look, walk, and talk like somebody who's worthy of your time, worthy of joining what you have built. Okay, you need to build something, and then you need to look at them like, well, do they fit this program that I've already established, or I'm actively establishing and gaining ground in? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then move on. Okay, that's you asserting your purpose right there, because you look out there, you say, oh, she's attractive, she looks like something that I would be interested in. Okay, well, second look. Does she carry herself like somebody whose representative reflect well on me? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then the answer is no. Move on. Okay? If the answer is yes, then you start to scrutinize it further. You know, well, when she talks, how is she saying? What kind of family situation does she come from? What is her goals in life, etc.? Okay? If it looks good, then proceed. If it doesn't, then you got to cut it off. You are already asserting yourself, and she doesn't even have the notion that you were ever even interested. You have to make people prove their self. Once you prove yourself, they have to prove their self to be worth of your time, because your time is valuable. You won't know how valuable your time is until you use it properly. And you're not using it properly chasing women. So this is about assertion, not aggression. When you are needy and you're trying to establish yourself with women and try to prove yourself constantly, then they get to scrutinize you because you're coming from a position of weakness in the first place. You need to think about that, brothers. But we're going to expand on that idea. Comment, share, subscribe. Let me know if I'm hitting on the right points or I'm just missing the whole point altogether. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.